Panel Light is based on real events, places, and research concerning mental illness and the life of patients in lunatic asylums from the beginning of the 20th century until their closure. It contains stories which may be disturbing, the characters and names are fictitious, and any reference to people living or dead is purely coincidental. This game uses an artistic interpretation of a former Italian psychiatric institution of dramatic purposes. Please note that mental health services have radically improved around the world. Think you may have psychological problems, please speak to a local doctor or specialist. Pressing the button to continue. Volterra, 1942, huh?
What's happened? What is this place? Maybe I'm dead. I can't see any light. Maybe I am dead. I can't get up. What's going on? What's happening to me? There's no one here, but these noises. God, my head is killing me. I can't keep my eyes open.
Reality fades away and my skin is gone. Every breath of wind is excruciatingly painful. Wait. I had my other controller plugged in too, so I don't know if that had anything to do with it. No. Just need a restart. Might have to do with that. Okay. Building. Pick. We have a flashlight. Somebody smoking, pictures. Claude Bernard. We can. Okay. There. Broken glass. Okay. Important. Incredible anti-aircraft victory in 159 aircraft shot down in 24 hours by German Continental Air Defense. Major Russian operation northwest of Jassy. Enemy convoys scattered in the Mediterranean. 2 destroyers and 6 merchant sunk. Presswood rationing improvements on April 20. Bread ration increased by 50 grams per day. An extra kilogram per month for soup products. Agricultural laborer treatment reform and extraordinary marmalade. Or him. Julie Key, distressed but held up by their faith, her mother Irene E., father Eric, and sister Martha delivered the grievous news. Funeral will take place in Ramola on Sunday, April 16th at 3:30 p.m. Starting from the house of the deceased, April 13th, 1994. Okay. Fierce murder in southern Castellano, April 14, 1944. Yuela K., a young woman from a respectable family, was brutally murdered near her home. Police are investigating possible political motive in murders. This time, no. Flashlight off, so. Interesting. Where are we supposed to be going, though? As it seems like we can go that way too. Mm-hmm. It's seen better days. Mm-hmm. I guess we're going around and around until we. Ugh. Okay. Can I go up on this too? Yep. I guess we are going for a little quick ride, huh? Whee. Okay, let's move on. Had a little fun there. Been in there, so let's move on. Camposanto, is that like some cemetery? If that's what it means. Volterra and Marigliano? Charcot? I'm butchering names.
This place. Time. Memory.
Checking, see if there's anything to say over here. No stuff. That's where we were before. There's a blocked off. Okay. So go inside. Inventory objects of a patient upon admission. Charity congregation. Psychiatric hospital administration inventory of articles of clothing and footwear, cash, cards, and other valuables upon admission to the asylum for observation of Renee. The date 12/03/1948. This is of clothing, amount of cash, valuables, cards, and other objects. Body shirts, underwear, blah, and so on. Assistant Director Volterra on the day. Yeah. Bueno per 20 stessimi. All that. Oh no, 50. Five and 2 lira. Okay. In general program 10327, psychiatric hospital administrative file of Amara, admitted on June 15, 1937, discharged, transferred, died on November 8. Patient discharge readmission document. Name and surname Francesca Agostini, 65027. Okay. Widow. Okay. Dismissal. DNY. Formal dismissal. File. Okay. Respiratory disease. Huh? Okay, that was all checked there, it seems like. There's something here glowing. First page, added to the synopsis menu. Displays, time, memory. Okay. That one is diary. Huh? Okay. Near the town of light. Huh? Okay, so we found something over here. My memory of those years is hazy between the age of about 7 and... Okay. We have to get reference from the start there. Reading at that point without on some information. That here, right? On. Telegram Volterra on Podesta. Please kindly notify any relatives of death of inviting them to cover burial expenses, failing which corpse will be sent to Pisa for study purposes. Cost 100 directors. To the Voltaire charity congregation, which in full compliance with the directives of the fascist regime, in the spirit of great initiative and rationality of technical criteria, proceeded to the truly exemplary organization of a self-managed, high-intensity cultivation agricultural company on Voltaire's fields, where the impact rugged clay soil was previously used as sparse pasture land. Secondary Provincial Commission, okay, in solemn recognition of this particular rural merit, anonymously voted to assign the present special certificate of honor, the large gold medal in the biennial competition as a prize to all companies under the umbrella of Agro Grano. Present Secretary Pisa. Okay. Girolamo Asylum. Note: a visit is granted to military patients for top placement only to parents, brothers, sisters, wife, and children. Authorized in writing by the family. Okay, blah blah blah. Visit. Volterra, Irene E. in K, 26 years. The woman is in a state of great agitation. Cursed her 3-year-old daughter for having ruined her life. She wanted to take us away. The damn kid wanted to kill us. She's the devil, I tell you. She's the devil herself. She destroyed my ability to give life. She left her sister in silence. Silence is scary. Mother explains that her husband, Eric K., worried about her daughter, called a doctor who, noticing the state of the woman and the potential danger to her daughter, urgently initiated a procedure for admission. The woman was admitted to observation in the single room, not because she was dangerous, but in view of her social class. It seemed the most appropriate choice. The mother has provided a generous donation to this institution in order to find a more suitable accommodation for her daughter. Bit of nutcases, huh?
The only thing I remember clearly is Charlotte, my doll.
pictures. On woman ward.
Nobody says we can't. Let's find Charlotte. Let's find Charlotte. She's alone. She's alone in the dark.
Wait a minute. That's not where we're gonna go. Reason.
No, she's freezing. She's alone. Let's look for her.
Okay. How's it go? Upper floor clinics, X-ray department, surgical ward, gynecology, patient and archives.
Let's search the wards on the upper floor. There's a plan on the wall which shows their location.
No. Oh, actually, it does work. Oh. There's no close door button. Close it manually. Patient transfer document. Okay. These steps. Yeah. Administrated electrical shocks, huh? Hmm.
Mummy took good care of Charlotte. She tucked her in, hugged her, gave her cuddles and kisses. She was very affectionate and loving. Nothing bad happened to Charlotte, and that surprised me. I didn't understand. At first, I was quite scared. I was afraid that she wanted to hurt me. I lived in constant fear that Mom would abandon her. Because I didn't deserve to live. I didn't deserve to be loved. It's cold and it's dark. Look, she's cold. She'll get ill. We can take care of her. Nobody can stop us. Charlotte is a good girl.
Okay. Okay. Where are the fluids? Yeah, for some reason we don't need the keys. Okay. Opera, huh?
Those lamps could make the room warmer. But Charlotte's not happy. She doesn't feel well.
Okay. A window, right part of the window just opened instantly, but
Charlotte is cold. Let's take her somewhere warm. I saw a wheelchair on the ground floor. It's comfortable there, and we can put Charlotte somewhere warm.
Okay. Where did I see a wheelchair here?
Charlotte will be comfy here. But it's cold. No, it's cold. Don't shiver, Charlotte. The cold will go away. It'll go away.
Okay.
We must find some warm lights. Let's go to the surgical ward.
Let me get it in there. That's the question. Taking our little doll to the surgical room. Dun, dun, dun.
The cold has gone away now. You see? The light, the warmth. We can do it. The cold will go away. It has to. Now we can enter the ward where everything started. It all began in the observation ward on the ground floor.
And journey through some weirdness.
One day I turned off the light, but it didn't go dark. It was a limitless immensity, a blinding, merciless light. I was 16 years old, and I was afraid, always afraid, a fear that wore me down. I needed help, but I couldn't speak. I was terrified of everything, even thinking. They said they were taking me to a place where the fear would go away, where I would get better. I stopped living in there. They dragged me away and stripped off all my clothes, everything. I tried to explain what was going on in my head. They tied me to the bed for days. I was alone with my nightmares. It wasn't fear anymore. It was madness. And when you're mad, you cease to exist.
Kind of fitting for this one, and I've been playing Alice Madness Returns.
She was my only hope in this hell. I was descending down, down among the damned. But that woman and her smile kept me alive.
Voltaire Psychiatric Hospital. Transfer file, name and surname, T. Renee. Paternity, unknown. Place of birth, Montefiore Foley. Age 17, April 4, 1948, 10:30 a.m. Patient Renee T. is transferred from temporary asylum in the observation rooms to the quiet ward. OPV stamp.
The door is locked from the outside. Here, the doors can only be locked and unlocked from the outside. You can't get out of here. Only the dead can leave this place.
Some of the oil. Okay. Hmm. Hmm.
He laughed, panted, and slobbered all over me. It hurt me when he touched me. I thought I'd suddenly split open with a loud crack, and I would be shattered into pieces. I felt fragile, sick, dirty, degraded. All I could do was clutch Charlotte tightly while Renee obeyed. He was the master in the realm of light. I was being consumed by the evil act I had committed. I threw up and could feel hell getting closer and closer. Those tests the doctors did to me. They said there was something growing inside, and they wanted to drag it out of me.
New chapter. Been there. There. Been in here. Okay. June 24, 1926. Dear Mr. Director, the present letter is to recommend to your precious attention Mrs. Irene K., admitted in your institute last 12th of April. Shower of your special attention to the unfortunate woman, our dear friend. I beg you to provide for her every need. The family will satisfy every expense. For any concerns, please contact MSGR Helio D, who will personally come to visit. Sincerely yours, Cardinal. Cordialamento. Tju, Adam. Dear Director, I have been working at this institution for 5 years now. I'm a simple person. I'm not educated, and I feel embarrassed about writing to you. I always try to look on the bright side, but sometimes we are called upon to do difficult things. That's our duty, and I well understand and accept it. There is no alternative. However, I have decided to write to you because something is happening which is simply unacceptable. I'm well aware that there's someone among us who devotes too much attention to the younger female patients who are confused. The serious nature of this fact has compelled me to write to you. I'm certain of your indignation and of the measures you will adopt to solve the problem. Please accept my warmest regards and respect. What? There's your belly. Oh. I have a name. Hmm. How convenient. Hmm. Nothing there, nothing there, nothing there. Okay. This. That's where I think we came from. Storage. Pillows. This is the one that we start. Busted down. Yeah. Not a letter. Oh. Check here.
She stayed with Renee during those terrible medical examinations, and that gave her the strength to survive.
Of course it's locked, huh? Okay. In this room. Okay.
They went to the gynecology ward on the upper floor.
You're lazy. The elevator. God, I'm so tired today. I sat down and relaxed. Okay, so we have number 4. Right. Haven't I? Did check these. Can't go there yet. There's a little doll. Gör den. Okay. What is it you're supposed to?
August 21st, 1938. Confidential. Dear A, I know what you think about these things, so I'm referring a patient to you, Renee T. This wretched girl got out of control and caused trouble in the grounds. She's almost 3 months pregnant. The nurses should be more alert. I'm examining the girl on the 28th. I'll handle things very carefully, don't worry. We don't want to make matters worse. Then they said that Renee was crazy, and that the illness was all in her head. Careful, little girl, careful. I was scared, and I didn't talk to anyone about the illness. Only her. Not even the other doctor. He never touched Renee. He just wrote things down. You can tell me everything. Don't be afraid, he said. Everything's going to be fine. Do you want to know what I am writing? I note down what I observe in you, everything I see. He didn't hate Renee. He tried to help her, but he rarely examined her in those small surgeries.
Okay.
The doctor who wrote things down was in Surgery C.
Surgery C. Not on this level. That's number 7. See if there's something down. No. So it is in the surgery. Then. There's no specific. This is the only one that has surgery. Here we go then. Semjagitaten. No? Doctor wrote things down was in surgery C. Oh, 2. Ah, okay. That one has 3 rooms. Okay. Just make sure we don't. This is A. Check that one. We check that. Matches. Okay. Yeah, we didn't go in there because we found a doll in that other room.
June 1935. After much theorizing and practice in clinics for the privileged, the moment for action has finally arrived. Volterra is the right place. It's an avant-garde hospital, the perfect place for a doctor who really wants to make a difference. November 20th. Crossing the threshold of the asylum was similar to entering another dimension. A world of smells, noises, and images which it is almost impossible to imagine, describe, or explain. August 1936. The situation is similar to that in many other institutions. The department is overcrowded. Hundreds of patients are supervised by a handful of nurses who are forced to tie the more distressed ones to their beds or to radiators. They do 24-hour shifts. It's impossible to work like this. We doctors rarely see the female patients, and it's the nurses who tell us what's happening to the women.
Mission and personal details to document Charity Congregation Psychiatric Hotel, number 6530, object name and surname Camiano Saverio, Father Gino, Mother Contini Maria, married, blah 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 blah. I kindly request you, illustrious excellency, to kindly convey to this address any information regarding the insane Damiano Saviero, son of the deceased Sorio and Contini Maria, born in Montiano and residing there, age 53, admitted in this institute on 1936. I say that. Why that VI stands therefore. Okay. That one. This is strato fluido di Grindiella. Università degli Studi di Bologna, huh?
March 12th, 1938. Renee T., 16 years old. Menstruation at age 12. Housewife. Father unknown. Mother a seamstress. Admitted in observation yesterday morning from Pontedera, accompanied by a police officer authorized by the examining magistrate of the Court of Pisa to be admitted for a psychiatric evaluation, which I have carried out. Medical certificate. Mental illness preceded by warning signs. Has suffered from depression for a year, believing she had tuberculosis. Food deprivation. We can't read this document. It is forbidden. We mustn't. If they find out, there will be trouble.
We can't read it amazing, so we must Okay, it talks about Renee, it talks about you, so we had to read it.
Have you ever wondered who you are? Yes, of course you've wondered.
It doesn't matter. I'm here for you.
Will you help me to understand? To escape this dazzling light inside me that stops me from seeing?
Of course, we'll turn off all the lights together. Oh, that was a wrong one.
She is frightened, hears noises and ghosts, presents serious signs of anxiety psychosis, suffers from hallucinations. She is anxious, confused, her expression is distressed, a questioning look as if terrified, disoriented. She feels confused, hears voices shouting in her head. She doesn't understand things properly. She has been feeling unwell for 2 or 3 months. When questioned, she replies, "My mother wants to hurt me. I am always scared of her. She chases me." "Why are you here?" "I argued with my mother and was so upset that I felt like my head was spinning. There was a woman there who wanted to force me into a life of prostitution. They wanted to condemn me to be burned at the stake. Children whispered, called my name." March 16th. She couldn't sleep last night. They wanted to condemn her to be burned at the stake. April 4th. Transferred to the calm ward, still under my supervision. "Yes, that's true. The ward where Amara was. Yes, the stake. The children wanted to burn Renee. She had to pay for what she'd done, like witches at the stake."
What have you done to deserve to be punished?
April 21st. She's more awake this morning and is responding to questions, complains of headaches. She became agitated when she found out her mother was there. She says that one day, many years earlier, she was with a friend of hers and met a man who made her get into a car and took her for a ride. He made her smoke cigarettes and drink liquor, and the man showed her certain things. He tried to hurt her and made her go crazy. She says he promised to marry her and made her swear to keep what had happened a secret. These facts were essentially confirmed by her mother. After that, she became arrogant, impatient, and hostile towards her family, especially her mother. She started taking off her clothes in public. Her moods would swing from laughter to tears. She rants. She pleasures herself. "I can't remember these things, only the guilt, the stake. I know I deserved to pay for that guilt. I knew it even then."
Let's look for the rest of the clinical diary to understand.
She was uncooperative during the examination. She didn't want to be stripped and her body remained rigid. Voluntary attention almost totally absent. Probable hallucinations. April 25th. Confused ideas, unable to maintain a spontaneous conversation. Reflexes all normal. Reactive pupils. "Let's find Amara, and we'll find the full medical records."
First clues, huh? Old needles. Did you noggin with it? Hello? Anybody there? Oh, what? Can't I just take that? Hmm. Okay.
The grounds at the back of the hospital, and then down to the kitchens.
Let's see what's here.
This is the road we used to take. If it weren't for her, in the grounds on that bench in spring, so many days. It was an escape, watching nature around us as she talked and smiled. And then there were the kitchens. Sometimes we stole food and ran back to the bench to eat it in secret, and we laughed. She did things to me. Sometimes she touched me. In the shower, I felt her body against mine for the first time. It was a shiver that warmed my soul. Eyes closed, the light slipped away.
Okay.
She wasn't in the system. He wouldn't let her in. That's it. She must be the key to my memories, to the reasons why.
Round.
Nature helped me to forget, to escape from the system.
Here. Of exploration. Nothing. Yeah.
The scent of spring. The land of light was far away, and we spent the days chatting on the stone benches.
This was on our bench. Was it? Bum, bum, ba-dum, ba-dum, bum, ba-dum, ba-dum.
Let's look for Amara in the kitchens in the basement of the building, behind the greenhouse.
Yes, I stopped building where we pretty much. What? This is a different. Oh, okay. Had some counter in here too, huh? Yeah, it's like a little bit weird how it just goes in some of the easiest. really sounds usable or anything. Why be able to look at them? Bit weirdly choice.
Come on, let's look everywhere. She must be here, I'm certain.
Dun, 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 dun.
Keep looking. We mustn't give up.
Lock.
Where could she be? We've got to talk to her. Everything will be all right. But being here now, I don't like it. Come on, let's look for her, quickly.
Working on it, damn it.
We can't stay in here too long. They'll find us. When they found us... Come on, hurry. We've got to find her quickly. We've got to get out of here. They'll find us. But not now. Not yet. Amara's not here. Maybe she's in the showers. We can find her there. The water was often cold. When it was cold, we ran away. But when it was hot, then she came to Renee under that cruel white light. I can still feel the shivers her body gave me. Everything must return to how it was. If we recreate that magic, she'll come to us.
Now we need to go to some showers. Okay, washer. Times on that one. So close that one twice on this one. Close it. Yeah. 3 is a valve somewhere. 4. Okay. So showers, it means we have to go back then, right? Us. What?
We have to turn the water on in the showers and switch the boiler on. All the plumbing systems were in the kitchen area.
Oh. Tap water. Turn the boiler on now. So what now then? Oh. Huh.
Now everything is ready. We can go to the bathrooms. We can go along that narrow corridor in the kitchens. We'll meet her in the showers, yes.
I misunderstood it a bit. Okay, that's that one. I need a map. Question if it's it doesn't say what number 3 is. Toilets, toilets. I wonder if it's upstairs. Guess so. Or the Oh. Huh. Wonder if it is the toilets down there now.
Now everything is ready. We can go to the bathrooms. We can go along that narrow corridor in the kitchens. We'll meet her in the showers, yes.
Huh?
Not in this ward, not in observation, remember? Let's go to the calm ward.
The heck is a calm ward at? It's up there then. Huh. Am I missing it or what the heck? Or was it down there but in that other part of might be where I haven't check these cabin here, so Double dentist, huh? Mm-hmm. And okay. Nothing. Peace. It. Yep, either. Okay, nothing there, nothing there. Okay, move on. Locked off. Damn, a lot of people have been in this place, man. Jesus. Showers. I would assume. Back up. Sunlight coming. Eight. Yep. And disarray. Do the showers.
Everything's ready. Let's get undressed and leave our clothes on the hooks in the changing rooms. Let's turn the water on now, and everything will be as before. Amara was everything I could have been, but she no longer existed. I'd have loved to erase everything I did, but instead I always went ahead and did it again. It was my fault, and she disappeared from my life.
Ouch.
They gave you injections there, which made your body and soul tremble violently. A whirlwind of anguish and unbearable pain. I lived in terror of the next time. They had taken me upstairs to that ward where no one wanted to go.
This is a female deviant conduct whose treatment requires special severity and rigor. Enemies, masturbation, homoeroticism, homosexuality, and natural mothers. Mothers who fail to develop the instinct of motherhood, refusal of child duties, adultery. Okay. Ian.
Let's look for Renee's room in the slightly agitated ward.
Upstairs. Huh? Yes.
When there was too much chaos, they closed all the windows and the door. They turned off the lights, and it was pitch black. Some people fell asleep. Some others stopped seeing their demons and became more calm.
Some, huh? Close in the bedroom. Okay. Opening the windows because we can. We have to make any difference.
They put a straitjacket on you. It gave you a cold shower. They suffocated you with a sheet.
What the heck?
They tied you to the bed. They tied me to the bed. A woman died next to me, choked by her own vomit. She was tied down because she wouldn't stop pleasuring herself. I can still hear her death rattle. I screamed, but nobody came. Everybody screamed in there, all of them. It was then I saw the doll, which wasn't Charlotte. No, she wasn't Charlotte. The past came back to hurt me again. In the loneliness of that crowded ward, he brought it with him. I thought I would never see him again. He'd come to remind me who I was. That's what my mother used to do. That's what I had done. It seems that my life in here was just a repeat of what it had been outside. The doll, the fear, the shame. I'd have loved to erase everything I did, but instead I always went ahead and did it again. Montefoscoli, November 12th, 1939. My dear daughter, it is with great sadness that I heard what happened. Your transfer and your sufferings are a cause of great worry for me. It will take time, but you'll see, things will improve. They'll treat you and you'll get better again. I pray a lot, every day. Write to me often and tell me if you need anything. I promise I'll do what I can. Try to be strong. Mom. This is the last letter she wrote to me. Once I was put into this ward, I was overwhelmed by loneliness. After that medical examination, I received no more letters from Mom. Why is that man here? Why doesn't she come to see me? Did I make a mistake? It didn't seem like she wanted to abandon me. What did I do wrong? I'd like to be able to reply to her again now, to change things.
Okay. Please, I beg you, get me out of this place. You're frightening me. A fear which I can't understand. I'm completely confused. I can't keep on this without any trying. You, my friend, help me do something. And now I behave as sure nothing will be fine. I work hard. I'll be very good. They hate me. He hates me. He wants to kill me, but nobody understands. Nobody believes me. I don't know what's happened to me. Sometimes I don't even know. That one.
Perhaps she would have listened to me. Will she reply? The letters were sent to the archive. It was their job to post them.
Get to the archives. Checking it out. Right, so we can see that one.
Montefoscoli, December 20th, 1941. Dear Director, could you please let me know how my daughter, your patient Renee T., is getting along? I've written to my daughter several times, but have received no reply. I'm very worried, particularly as I've been ill for some time and have not been well enough to come and visit her. Please kindly let me know when it will be possible for me to bring my daughter home. Your humble servant, Ada T. Bring this letter to the attention of Dr. C so he can assess the potential discharge of the patient.
Not delivered. Yep, archives. Crap, not for the door. Heck was that? First, a visit from Renee T. Date, time, personal details, adult T. Okay, police officer questioning, improve M on the free band visit. Yay, static. Oh, come Back one was rope to the neck to the wall. Why is it always that left part or right actually open? Oh, okay. Nada there. Archives is probably downstairs though. Nope, 12. All the way this way. Checking eyesight, huh? Hmm. Yeah. Nice. Mm-hmm. More craziness. There, nothing there. Oh. Reworks of Reniti. Skull, huh? Resto Pacheco. That. Okay, and we have some pictures. Hmm. More smoking. Here on. Yeah. Can't go. Currently. Suction in the way. On all line. Guardians and stuff. Mm-hmm. Nurses. Perry. Marigliano. Okay. An outlay of the place. Ferry and Shercott and Camposanto. New tuberculosis unit open. Inauguration of the Marigliano Pavilion. Okay. Before Italy take arms, Italy's entry in war announced by the Duke War. Mussolini speaks, message from the Führer to the king. Hmm. Yeah.
When you were sent to a lunatic asylum, you lost the right to possess anything. Everything you arrived with was packed up and stored here, even the clothes you were wearing, in case you were released one day, but far too many never left.
Why can't I? Yeah, we need to figure out which one is ours, I guess. Somehow. A key is all over this place, but nothing we can pick up. Is there a way knowing which one we are supposed to put it in?
There must be a file with my name in the filing cabinet somewhere. Dear Mother, please, I beg you, get me out of this place. I'm so frightened here. You were right. I know I was wrong. I understand. I'm so ashamed. If only you knew how much. But now I'll behave myself, I promise. Now things will be fine. I'll work hard. I'll be very good. Your daughter, Renee. This letter. It was Renee's letter, just as she wrote it back then. But it was never sent. Why? Why did this happen? I received your letter, Mom. You tell me to be patient and strong, while I only feel fear and pain. And you don't write to me anymore. If only these words could be my soul, I'd tell you what was happening to me. The kids want to kill me. They all look the other way and tell me what to do. I don't understand. She helps me, but what have they done to her? Can you tell me? Will you help me? Renee. Montefoscoli, July 7th, 1940. My dear daughter, I have received no news from you. You have not contacted me in months. I'm sorry, but I don't have the money to come and visit you. Do you remember Mr. Onofrio? He'll soon be in Volterra for business. I've asked him if he would be kind enough to ask the director for some news about you. I hope he'll bring me some good news when he returns. But please write to me. I know that I was strict with you. You have to forgive me. I didn't think. I've given Mr. Onofrio a new doll for you. You told me that you lost yours, and I know you loved it so much. It's not as nice as your Charlotte, but I hope that it will comfort you nonetheless. Keep your chin up, darling. Everything will be fine, you'll see. Mom. Montefoscoli, October 12th, 1940. My dear daughter, I've written 2 letters to you and have received no reply. Every day, I'm anxiously waiting for a letter. Mr. Onofrio's back. He brought you the doll. Do you like it? He told me he was unable to speak to the director, but managed to see you. I pray for you every day. Even Don Gino said a prayer for you during Sunday Mass. Isn't that nice? I've made up my mind, Renee. I'm bringing you home. I've already written to the director. I told him that I'll take care of you. I'm not very well at the moment and can't work, but I'll get better soon, you'll see. And as soon as I can make the journey, I'll come and fetch you. I know you're suffering a lot, but please be strong, I beg you. Mom will come and fetch us, won't she? Mom is good, but she's not well. That's why that man came. She also sent us the doll. I could have played with it and talked to it while waiting for her to come, but Renee didn't bring it with her. Perhaps she's been abducted like all the others and is locked up here somewhere.
Okay. Let's see.
My name is Renee. They told me that I have to write this diary, but I don't feel like it. It's not true that I feel better when I write. Actually, it's worse. I was a shy girl, and I just wanted to be like the others. But that's not what happened. No. I did things that, when I think about them now, eventually brought me here. Everything started with that damned light. It happened for the first time when I was still a little girl. I was 6 or 7. I was walking outside school when suddenly the noise started to melt into an indistinct rumble. The light increased out of all proportion and everything lost its meaning. I could no longer recognize anything. Objects, people, words, not even myself.
On.
I felt fear as a physical sensation. It prevented me from moving, from swallowing, from breathing. After God knows how long, everything went back to normal. But a new fear replaced the old one. Different, but terrible. Of the light coming back. And it did come back. My memory of those years is hazy. Between the age of about 7 and 10, my memories are disconnected, and I couldn't say how many times and how frequently the light used to come. My mother gave me a doll around that time. Charlotte. Thinking back to it makes me want to laugh. But at the beginning, I remembered that I was afraid of her. I thought she wanted to harm me, to kill me and take my place. But when the light came, she would stay beside me, and her presence did not disturb me. I was able to talk to her, and so she became my best friend. At least until I was in grade 2, when everything changed. She didn't laugh at me, and if I had to say something to my mother, I asked her to say it. When things inside me turned bad, she was the only one I could turn to. Now all of this makes me blush, but Charlotte was a real friend to me. I knew that she was just a doll. I wasn't stupid, but at the same time, she was real, too. I don't know how to explain it. It's difficult. My mother would cuddle her and tell her things. I guess she was trying to communicate with me, but back then I was too afraid to understand it. I didn't tell anyone about the light. I knew that something terrible was happening to me. I thought that I would die, and the shame I felt was so deep that an uncontrollable restlessness took over me. I was afraid when other people were nearby. I saw fingers pointed at me, mouths laughing, condemning me. I tried to be alone. I would sit down on the ground and, curled up in the dark, I would repeat a word, any word, in continuation. This helped me not to think, not to lose myself. I would spend entire days like this, hoping that my mother would ignore me. Her compassionate words hurt me and terrorized me even more, and so I had to shout and shout and shout those words. After a few days, things got better, and little by little I came out of my hiding place. But the fear was always there, under the surface, ready to strike me even harder.
Damn, this diary, man.
I remember a recurring dream from that time. I used to have plenty of nightmares, but this particular one was so real that even today, I ask myself whether it could have possibly been just a dream. I was in bed, enveloped by the warmth of the blanket, in the dark, about to succumb to sleep, when I heard the bedroom door open. I turned to face the wall and did not have the courage to turn around. I only saw a shadow cast against the wall by the light filtering in through the door. Then I heard the door close again, and I thought that it might have been my mother who, before going to bed, used to peep in to see whether I was sleeping. However, there was no time to breathe a sigh of relief, for footsteps approached the bed, and I heard the sound of breathing close by. Fear paralyzed me from head to toe. The blankets were pulled back. I remember the chill of fresh air on my spine. Someone sat on the bed, and I trembled. Then the dream finished.
Okay.
The light often came when I was at school, turning my fellow pupils into puppets that would terrorize me. To me, they appeared transformed, with the bloodied heads of animals stuck where their own heads should have been. I would curl up on the floor and would even wet myself. The teacher would try to console me and would smile at me, but her teeth and her eyes would terrify me even more. Things did change. I don't know why, perhaps during the second or third year of school. It was more or less in the same period that I became friends with Bruna. I remember the sensation of joy I experienced when I felt almost normal. The light isn't coming. The dreams have gone, and I have a real friend, one who speaks to me. I would repeat this to myself proudly while looking in the mirror, where I no longer saw an embarrassing reflection. It seemed to me that the world was a difficult place, but it was no longer impossible. Bruna. I did not understand what Bruna saw in me, especially as she was almost 2 years older than me. I would tell her this every now and then, and she would joke about it, saying, "Nothing. I don't see anything in you, which is what I like about you." And then she would hug me. But one day, she was sad and pensive, and said to me, "You and I are the same. Don't be fooled. You are reserved and honest, and I'm not. But that's the only difference between us. The only one." Then she began to cry. I was struck by the perception in her words, but only today, after re-examining my past, do I understand what she meant. I no longer considered my body as something disgusting and ill, Far from it. I began to look at myself, to caress myself, and smell my own skin. I began to explore and experiment, finding physical pleasure. My ideas were not very clear, and I never spoke to anyone about these things. Bruna, however, spoke about them. She boasted about her love stories and her young men. To my eyes, she was very lucky, always being wooed. By marvelous, generous, and kind boys. Thus, I fantasized about her adventures, pretending that I was the main protagonist. But how could I ever be like her? Occasionally I recall that she had black and blue marks on her body, but I was so naive that I did not understand. I did not put two and two together. It was Don Gino who explained things to me a few years later. He told me about Bruna's father and brother, but I was already very ill. The light had returned, and that thing made me suffer even more. It was my world, and it was crumbling. When I spoke to Bruna about it, she turned her head away and was silent for a long time. Prince Charming doesn't exist, Renee. At least not for us. I was 14 years old. I didn't think it was possible for a boy to look at me and desire me. When he asked me if I wanted to go for a walk, I didn't say anything. I didn't even have the courage to look at him. Things improved for a number of years, then suddenly everything came crashing down. One evening I came home drunk, and the following morning a terrible crisis overcame me all of a sudden. What had I done? I was terrified. I thought I'd lost my sight. The light burned my eyes from inside. The memories of the previous day emerged in bursts, images, flashes, which unleashed something monstrous inside me. Repetition of words was no longer sufficient. Now there was a voice in my head which repeated them louder than I did, and they were words of accusation and blame. So I covered my ears and shouted and hit my head against the wall and threw up.
Jesus.
I remember the doctor, the wall filthy with blood and vomit. My mother wasn't looking at me. Bruna was crying but trying to hide it. Charlotte was beside me. I never told anyone what had happened. He came to visit me, but I refused to see him. I became agitated. I think he liked me, even though things turned out badly. In that period, I began to suffer from memory loss. The few things I learned didn't please me at all. He told me that I was looking for him. It was all my fault. Bruna told me that sometimes I got drunk. People in the village gossiped about me. Sometimes I was covered in black and blue marks. I didn't realize what was happening to me, what I was doing. I was no longer in control of my life. From my little corner. He felt accused, hurt. I chased him away. I insulted him. He was proud, handsome. He said things about me to other people, which he shouldn't have said. Mother caught me coming home drunk. She beat me and sent me to speak to Don Gino every day. He came back and tried to speak to me. I think he liked me. Sometimes I sent him packing and I started shouting at him, but other times I embraced him. I held him tight and loved him.
Mm-hmm.
But he couldn't bind himself to me. I was 16 and ill. I had no future. I didn't get out of bed for weeks. Then I did things I was ashamed of. I slept with men. The guilt tore at my soul, and the light came back to torture me. I invented stories to justify my actions. I couldn't bear my own weight. Mom found out about it. Her voice split my head. I pushed her away because I was afraid of dying, and I shouted to the whole world what was happening to me and that I didn't understand. The police arrived and they carted me away. I remember the onlookers shaking their heads. They would be better off without me, cleansed of shame, with something to talk about for a while.
Okay. That's the story. Reese.
Mummy took good care of Charlotte. She tucked her in, hugged her, gave her cuddles and kisses. She was very affectionate and loving. Nothing bad happened to Charlotte, and that surprised me. I didn't understand. At first, I was quite scared. I was afraid that she wanted to hurt me. I lived in constant fear that Mom would abandon her. They said they were taking me to a place where the fear would go away, where I would get better. I stopped living in there. They dragged me away and stripped off all my clothes, everything. I tried to explain what was going on in my head. They tied me to the bed for days. I was alone with my nightmares. It wasn't fear anymore. It was madness. And when you're mad, you cease to exist.
I think we
He laughed, panted, and slobbered all
this
over me.
part.
It hurt me when he touched me. I thought I'd suddenly split open with a loud crack, and I would be shattered into pieces. I felt fragile, sick, dirty, degraded. All I could do was clutch Charlotte tightly while Renee obeyed. He was the master in the realm of light. I was being consumed by the evil act I had committed. I threw up and could feel hell getting closer and closer. Those tests the doctors did to me. They said there was something growing inside, and they wanted to drag it out of me.
Reminds me so much of Alice. Malice Returns this in some aspects.
If it weren't for her, in the grounds on that bench in spring, so many days. It was an escape, watching nature around us as she talked and smiled. And then there were the kitchens. Sometimes we stole food and ran back to the bench to eat it in secret, and we laughed. She did things to me. Sometimes she touched me. In the shower, I felt her body against mine for the first time. It was a shiver that warmed my soul. Eyes closed, the light slipped away. Amara was everything I could have been, but she no longer existed. I'd have loved to erase everything I did, but instead I always went ahead and did it again. It was my fault, and she disappeared from my life.
I didn't like what those two were doing.
They put a straitjacket on you. They gave you a cold shower. They suffocated you with a sheet. They tied you to the bed. They tied me to the bed. A woman died next to me, choked by her own vomit. She was tied down because she wouldn't stop pleasuring herself. I can still hear her death rattle. I screamed, but nobody came. Everybody screamed in there, all of them.
Okay. Yeah, we already got this one. Okay.
Let's look for the second doll. It'll be among the bundles of the patient's belongings.
Would it say now which one was ours? What? Hmm.
Now we can open the bundle on that table in front of the window. You see? Mom was good. I was bad. Mom was worried about Renee and Charlotte. I abandoned Charlotte. We've abandoned her.
Okay. Choose.
May the Lord guide your path and keep you from sin. Mom.
Let's see. Italian. Press the shoes. Come on, game. Okay. Anything? Back here. Oh, sure. That's just that, and then it's just shoes, and then that one, and that, nothing. Okay.
Let's look for Charlotte. We have abandoned her. Will she still be where we abandoned her, under the warm lights?
I guess we'll find out. Yeah, it's there. Okay, flashback time again. Getting some goodies, huh?
I didn't do anything. I just obeyed orders.
I only obeyed orders.
Charlotte has gone away. Mom will come and get us. She loves us, even though we're bad.
Orders won't leave us alone. I didn't do anything. I only obeyed orders. Mom will come and get us now. I didn't do anything. I only obeyed orders,
even though we're bad.
Mom won't leave us alone. I didn't do anything.
Charlotte gone away.
I only obeyed orders.
Mom will come and get us now. She loves us, even though we're bad.
I didn't do anything. I only obeyed orders.
Okay. That one looked pretty dead to me. Uh-oh. Our turn. What is this room? Okay, tying it down. Bite down on this, and time to get electrocuted. Sadly, this is something they still do today, though. Thanks for the raid. Oh, my queen. What I should say about this one, if it's creepy, more like a horrible experience somebody had. Being stuck in a mental hospital. How are you doing, oh my queen? Hope you're doing well. Read that.
September 7th, 1938. The patient frequently indulges in recriminations expressed in an explosive tone of voice. This morning she threw away the milk, saying it was full of urine, spittle, and all kinds of other filth. Crazed, she hears voices that order her to do things. She says she heard children singing and that they were locked up in a school. January 20th, 1939. Introverted, dazed, cannot focus on anything. When questioned and stimulated, she starts crying and weeping. At other times, she laughs. June 1st. Apathetic. Eats very little. She refuses to be touched. Does not respond. Spends her time in the grounds. The cooks report that she sits on a bench in front of the kitchens. October 14th. Return of impulsive behavior. This morning she asked for 2 eggs to make zabayoni, but when she got them, she threw them up in the air. Excited, clamorous, slightly confused, takes her clothes off. December 8th. Tied to bed for 15 days.
Damn.
High-spirited, tends to make witty comments and use vulgar words. Laughs hysterically and pleasures herself. The nurses report that about 2 weeks ago she remained in the showers on
What's
her own and
zabayoni
didn't want to
then?
leave. They said that when they took her away, she swore
Except
at them
eggs.
and then lashed out and bit them. 2 nurses had to be treated for their injuries. They've kept her tied to the bed since then. Transferred to the slightly agitated ward, from the care of Dr. B to the care of Dr. C. I was with Amara in the showers. My memories are terrifying. They're not real, are they?
Huh. Go with that one.
December 15th. Dr. C. Patient notes. The abnormality of her psychic state has induced her to lead a life which is irregular and tends towards delinquency. Of fickle and flighty character, she regularly discards her household duties and
Yeah, I
engages
saw
in
that
occasional
earlier.
prostitution. Prostitution? No one would have ever believed a lunatic, let alone a lunatic who lives in the worst sort of sin. Could such a person ever have been subject to sexual violence? Certainly not. Her mental deficiency makes her deaf to the reprimands of her family. She has shown suicidal tendencies. She was brought to the ward yesterday, agitated and hysterical. Treated with cardiazol, 2 injections a week for 5 weeks. They were only trying to confuse us with the therapy, and my God, they succeeded. It was as if they wanted to instill the madness into us.
The end always justify the means for those who wield power, huh?
June 2nd. After a long period of calm and improvement, the patient is very agitated today and vehemently refuses to submit to a gynecological examination. She swears and curses those helping her, flailing her arms and hitting them.
I played
According to reports by
Alice
Dr. B,
Madness
the
Returns
patient
before
has been
this,
subjected
which
to
I finished
periodic
yesterday.
checkups since she had a spontaneous abortion
And
about
there's
2
a
years
lot
ago
of
in her 3rd month of pregnancy.
this that is in
Conception
that game
occurred
too.
after she had sexual intercourse with a stranger who sneaked into the hospital grounds. Details are contained in the charges filed at police headquarters in Volterra. a copy of which is attached to these clinical notes. ES therapy. That's how the reality is concealed. It has all been planned very carefully.
Yes, all well-planned institution had to protect itself, right?
June 13th. The nurses report that she descended into a state of great mental confusion after receiving her mother's letter. She threw her soup over another inmate because she was very anxious, and then punched a nurse. Impulsive, flails about her. She rails against the doctor in vulgar terms while he is examining her, lashes out and spits. Block all correspondence to give the patient no further reason to become agitated. August 20th, tied to bed. The nurses report that the patient is extremely agitated after the visit of a relative or family friend. 2 days later, she is still shouting all the time that he commands her, that she must obey and harm herself, and that she is not Charlotte. All visits forbidden, constrained to bed, and intensification of ES therapy until we achieve results. No contact with the outside. That way nobody knew what was happening within these walls.
Human misery was thrown in here and locked away to make the world forget about it. People who were in here were no longer human beings as far as the society was concerned. The important thing was to keep you quiet. You don't remember what happened when the letters arrived. How can you judge? God knows how much suffering they spared you. Oh, it's either A and B. I take B. Ah, shit. A. Damn it!
Calm down. You must be calm. Don't get agitated. We'll make you calm down. Is that the only thing that matters? Is tranquility worth the price of not living?
Staying calm was essential for our well-being. That was alternative. Was there in any case it was a life not worth living? But not, but at least that way from outside, everything seemed more acceptable.
March 3rd. Alert, correct attitude, replies when questioned. The nurses report that the patient is calm. She washes and looks after herself. She affirms the existence of a certain Amara. She says that Amara is a patient who disappeared when she was moved to this ward. No confirmation.
Okay.
Probably a regressive hallucination.
Fun
Evaluate
trip to the
transfer.
shop.
Did I imagine Amara? That's not possible. She was there. I know she was there. I feel it. She must have left some traces of her presence.
Okay.
We can look for her things in the storeroom containing the bundles of the patient's belongings
Back
on the
there
upper
again.
floor.
Bringing it all the way back to the other side again. Come on. What do we have? Experience. Medical records. Probably check here first then, yes. Oh.
These are Amara's things, I'm certain.
Okay.
Amara, there she is. She existed. She really did exist. There she is, my friend. Here we are together. How could I have imagined for a single moment that she never existed?
Why is it always these shoes?
March 12th, 1938. The young girl Renee arrived today. Poor thing, she was terrorized. You see, she remembers the first time we met. I talked to her mother, the dear lady, and she expressed her fears to me, and I promised I'd keep an eye on her daughter. The lady told me her daughter's doll had been taken away, and this worried her, because when she becomes depressed, as she is now, Renee barricades herself in her room and can't communicate. The doll becomes her voice, eyes, and ears. Dr. B said I'll soon get out of here. I'm sorry. I'm so sad to leave Renee. I won't be able to protect her anymore. My poor friend. She was hoping to be able to get out of here, but nobody ever leaves this place. That poor girl is really ill. I am the only one she ever speaks to. I told her I was leaving, and she stared at me, saying that I would never leave. It was quite unnerving, and then she started to cry. I felt like crying too. She didn't say anything else. What worries me is that I'm sure that terrible man is watching her. He was the one who brought her here, and of all the good people, why did it have to be him? She knew. I told her everything. She knew about that man. That's why they wanted to make her disappear from my life. But I instructed a nurse friend of mine to keep an eye on her, and I'm sure she will, because she's a good woman. Her friend the nurse, I vaguely remember. She worked on this ward.
Okay.
Let's look for signs of the nurse in the nurse's room on the upper floor.
Nurse's room. So it's 13 and...
She worked mostly in the Maragliano pavilion. Let's get out of here and find that pavilion. Renee was alone here. Charlotte had abandoned her. And without Charlotte, Renee couldn't communicate with the outside world. Mother knew that.
Oh, we need to go to that one. Okay. A totally different building. Do I have that a map somewhere of the buildings? Can we get that? Oh, no. Down here. Why can't I? Can't look down. The cellar. Somebody's been staying down there. I can't remember where that place was. Ah, okay, so this one is closed off for. Or was that going back? Oh, this might not be the correct. Oh, wait. That is not the correct way. The signs, let's check. Yeah, it's this way. What was closed off before? An old car. And the entrance is the other way around, isn't it? Of course it is. Do, 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 do. Let's blow my nose a second. Okay. Let's move on. That way. The heck? So there was something over there anyway? Can't get in over here. Or in here we need to go, by the way. Yeah. No wonder.
She's kind to everyone, even me. I felt a little better when I saw her. The sick children laughed and played with her. Not even they could frighten me. Don't annoy Renee. She's a princess here. Didn't you know? She told stories. She said there was a war out there. But they stared at me and frightened me. come to look for me in the evening, and then no one would have protected me. Not even you, Charlotte. Am I right?
Okay. Obsession. Okay.
Let's follow the hearse until we reach the graveyard.
Checking to see. The graveyard. That one is the totally different direction, isn't it? If I remember the signs. Explore a little bit and just see what we can see here. I think the graveyard was in a different direction. Remember the signs in the beginning. I assume it's that one. I wonder if I walk in there or if I can walk out here still. Let's open up here now. Okay. To the graveyard we go. Wonder what it is we're gonna find there though. Doom, doom. Anything you're supposed to be able to do here, or? Graveyard. Okay. Dolian? The heck?
There's Charlotte. My voice, my eyes, my ears, my very soul. Let's go and play together again.
Now it's a question. What?
My voice. To say what? Meaningless things. Be offensive to others and get into trouble. Eyes to see desperate people. In the mirror, the shadow of my former self. Gaunt, worn out. They're killing me slowly, day after day. My ears to hear screams, deliriums, threats, and false promises. It'll be all right. Everything will pass. My soul, incapable of living. Of fitting into a world which it finds alien. It's moving further and further away from me, always further.
Okay, back up here again. It's like, what the heck are we supposed to be doing now?
Let's go and play together again.
Okay. Yeah. And to get you all dizzy.
I'd like to lose my voice. I'd like to lose my eyes. I'd like to lose my hearing. I'd like to lose myself forever.
gonna stab the doll? Or are we gonna stab ourselves? Doll, I assume. Okay.
Sono belle me le tengo, Madame Adoresse, sono belle me le tengo. Ve ne domanda una, Madame Adoresse, ve ne domanda una. Che cosa ne vuol fare, Madame Adoresse, che cosa ne vuol fare? La vuole maritare, Madame Adoresse, la vuole maritare. Con chi la mariterebbe, Madame Adoresse, con chi la mariterebbe? Con uno spazzacamino, Madame Adoresse, con uno spazzacamino. E come la vestirebbe, Madame Adoresse, e come la vestirebbe?
Where's the translation for the singing?
Uscite dal mio castello, Madame Adorelle, uscite dal mio castello. Quante belle uscite dal mio castello. Quante belle figlie, quante belle figlie. Sono belle me le tengo, sono belle me le tengo. Ve ne domanda una, Adorelle, ve ne domanda una. Cosa ne vuoi fare, Madame Adorelle, cosa ne vuoi fare?
So we are walking towards the light in the end of the tunnel, or? Okay, I can't turn around. Okay.
My schoolmates, when the light's there.
Are we supposed to find a lot of drawings now too? Did I miss something down here?
We learned so many things at school, and so we have to attend. How would we get on if we didn't?
Oh boy, this is a freaking maze, isn't it?
A blackbird's eating my head. That's why it hurts so much.
Okay.
My baby Charlotte is so beautiful, and she's so good. But Renee isn't. When I was little, I never used to sleep. Poor Mom. Mr. Onofrio is so nice. I'm bad because I'm not kind. Mom always has to work because it's so cold in winter. Mr. Onofrio helps Mom. How would we manage if he didn't?
Okay, it goes back up. Okay, we went that last time. And in here.
There are a lot of them. They want to hurt me. They fly. Even Charlotte can't help me. Mom works so hard because I have to eat, or I won't grow.
Let's see. I think that's the only option I haven't been. We came from there. See what this is.
When I was small, I never used to eat. Poor mother.
Okay, for eat. Okay, been down that way. Been down that way. Okay. Okay, been over there. Let's go back. And let's see, this is where we came from, right? Double checks. Yeah. Oh, what the heck? What the heck am I supposed to be doing now?
What's happened?
Yeah, exactly what happened.
What is this place? Maybe I'm dead. I can't see any light. Maybe I am dead. I can't get up. What's going on?
That was a
What's happening to me?
timepiece.
There's no one here. But these noises. God, my head is killing me. I can't keep my eyes open. Okay. Back here again. Time for some torture again then, huh? Hello, Tom. It's going well, thank you. How are you doing? Trying to figure out where the heck we are going now.
Okay, into the air. Gassy. Eating beans or what? Something else that gives gas. That's why old Mike Queen went outside to go to the store, huh? To avoid your stinky gas. It was fast in bed anyway. For you. All the vegetables there died. The heck?
My medical file again. I don't want to know. I don't want to know anymore. There's only confusion. There were some who had scarcely seen me. They thought they knew me and understood what was happening to me and could decide about my life.
I'd rather not do that. I don't want to suffocate myself. Oh, could walk over there. Is that what it looks like on Tom's end? Burns a hole through the bed. That's what you need. What the heck? But I would be able to... Can't go through here, huh? Okay. Here, no. Well, it did up the graphics and also... in Unity, I think now? In here to get or... Nothing we can do here though. Oh yeah?
Nobody laughs in here. I mean, really laughs. Not those crazy fools who laugh because people say they're mad. I don't know why they laugh out loud. They say I'm mad too, but I never feel like laughing. People used to laugh at me, but they were right, you know? You can't always cry and people laugh when they're afraid, don't they?
Oh, that's your
It
description,
happened to
Tom.
you, not to me. It's better that way. They do that to show they're lucky. You mustn't take offense because it's true. And deep down, it's just like pity, if you see what I mean. But then you think about your own situation, and you laugh because you feel lucky that everything's gonna get better, that it's all shit. It's all shit, this place. You're not trying to tell me it's not true, are you? An intelligent person, educated, not like me. And if I can see it's a load of shit, just imagine how much better you understand it. No, come on. No. I feel fine here, you know? After all, I can do and say anything I want.
Okay, let's move forward. We can do over there. Or look, a gaming chair. All prepped and ready. Just need something below. Pum, 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 pum. Oh, record to play. Telegrama.
August 28th, 1942. We hereby notify you of the death of Ada T., mother of Renee T., a patient in your institution. No known relative. Sincerely yours, Onofrio P. I have no one left in the world. Nobody at all. Solitude is very strange. It muffles everything, slows it down. It's an endless scream that makes no sound. A silent scream. I can't stop looking at myself. I will never leave this place. There is nobody up there for me. These walls have become my skin, and the wretched desperation within them is my soul without a voice. Here, nobody weeps anymore. How I would love to feel life, desperation, anger. I've stopped dreaming, daydreaming, maybe even thinking. I've lived in a reality which has corroded me and has stripped me of everything, even my ability to feel pain.
Okay. Director, huh? What the heck are we gonna end up doing now then? Been defined. Nope. No elevator for you. Guess we're gonna go down there. This won't do anything. There's another bike. And nothing. And off we go. Go that way, no that. Definitely not going that way. That way we can't go. So, wait on.
May 5th, 1943. Renee's state of health is good. She is eating and speaking. Her spatial and temporal orientation is good. Therapy suspended. December 3rd. She calmly asks if she can leave the hospital. Evaluate patient for 6 months. May 2nd, 1944. Discharge denied despite a favorable psychiatric opinion. The patient has no home or means of support.
That's
May 4th. The reasons why discharge is impossible are explained, and this is how Renee learns of her mother's death 2 years after the fact.
what the?
May 5th. She tried to kill herself in the night by hanging herself with a sheet, saved by the nurses. Restrained to her bed, she once more tried to kill herself by suffocation. The decision has been taken to perform a transorbital lobotomy.
Oh boy. Okay. Did I go the wrong way? Or am I supposed to click on... Oh. Yeah. The end? Use of lobotomy spread rapidly in Italy compared to other European countries. In America, the original technique, pioneered by A. Monitz, was perfected in 1937 by A. Fiamberti, who conceived the first opening. Operation involved gaining access to the frontal lobes of the brain by sawing through the orbit bone above the eyelids and damaging the lobes by means of an alcohol or formaldehyde injection or using a special instrument. Contrary to what was often thought, patients did not always receive invalidating damage, although this was often the case. Monitz was awarded the Nobel Prize for Medicine in 1949. The therapy gradually fell into disuse. Italians, huh? They like to doing lobotomy, huh? Yes, doctor, what are you doing? Uh-oh. We are awake for this, huh? Oh. Nasty. Ouch. Yeah, let the patient be awake for this part, huh? Yeah.
10th of June, 1944.
That's all of a sudden.
Operation successful. Patient tranquil and collaborative. Motor coordination capacity reduced, but she's improving. Transferred to the tranquil department in the care of Dr. B. 25th of October. Continues to talk about Amara and her doll, Charlotte. The disturbances of motor capacity show slight signs of improvement. Difficulty walking, not capable of riding, and the nurses report that they have to help her dress, wash, and feed herself. In the summer of 1944, Renee was transferred back into my department. Aware of little, indifferent, hardly ever spoke. One day, she said, "When I find the courage to look at myself in the mirror, I see a young face which is aged and looks at me full of fear." She is a woman now who has changed profoundly compared to the girl that I had under my care several years ago. Only the sadness of her gaze and her intelligence are unchanged. She's so young, just 23 years old, but is lacking all vitality. Perhaps her condition may improve, but probably not. Her life has been thrown away, and nobody did a thing to try to avoid this.
So here you live above my mind. I wish you'd heard that
Tragical time.
to read yours ain't easy for a bird. Soon I'll meet you. I'll become the one you love. We're growing, so we'll have claws while looking for ourselves. The time is endless, it could take forever. I will find you. I will find you. I will find you. Our home, our heart.
Not all over yet.
Find you. I will find you. I will find you. Our home, our heart. I need a face to wear, a skin so soft to dress. Let me try you on, I'll do it gently. Don't be scared, don't fly away, our home will soon. Beware our heartbeats, fight this life together.
I always like to watch, not watching the credits, but usually if there is anything after it. Yep, I'm gonna play The Room next. Just a relaxing game, short puzzle game. I haven't played it, so yep. I just heard it is good. I know there's like, isn't it 3 different games, I think? I only have the first one though. I wanna see how it is. Oh, you played all of them? Okay. Just want to see if there is anything after the credits or not. Yeah. Plus, this one is a little bit more interesting credits than most. A little bit of the scenery, Italy, I guess. The heck, Garrett 5 times Williams. We had one. German PR team, huh? Well, some credit rolls are like freaking 15 minutes to half an hour. Like the ones with Alice Madness Returns. Those credits were 20 minutes long, I think. Almost nothing after it either. It's like a waste. Yeah, they could have shortened it down a lot though. Thank you for playing. There was nothing after this, so... It's back to where she comes to the... Yeah.